Okay, I had a viewer ask me about getting into lathing, and they wanted to know what they would need. And I'm probably the last guy in the world to ask because I just kind of winged it. My father knows everything there is to know about lathes, and I didn't know anything. I wanted to make a few tobacco pipes, and I was making them by hand, and decided to get a lathe. So, let's get started. What I have here is a central machine, 10 inch by 18 inch. This is the span of the 10 inch, so you got probably 5 from here to here, so you can do a pretty big item. And then the 18 inch would be left to right. I have purchased a few chucks. This is a self-centering chuck. I got this from 800 watts on eBay. I looked for him the other day, could not find him. There are a lot of sellers. The ones you want are low-cost shipping. Harbor Freight does not have these. Harbor Freight sells, I think, 1 or 2 chucks, and this is Harbor Freight's. It's not a self-centering. It takes a key, and each one's individual. It does not come with a mounting plate, so you have to get it mounted. So I sent this to my father in Oklahoma. He's a machinist, and he made this piece here so it would mount onto my chuck. So I got that one. I think it was around 30 bucks at Harbor Freight. It is a good, this is general. It'll hold inside and out. It's not a bad chuck, but you have to self-center it. You have to do it. Here's another one I got on eBay. This is for bowls, round stuff, and basically I've found that I'm using this quite a bit because you can use the inside teeth if you want, and they hold quite well for small stuff or larger stuff. The outer ones you can do bowls, cups. You can do quite a bit with this chuck. I'm really impressed with this chuck. It's self-centering and it's a great chuck. I don't know the brand. I got it on eBay. Let's run through what it comes with. I went on ahead and got the bigger lathe. I didn't want just the basic wood lathe. I wanted more of a heavy duty one, and I'm very glad I did. Spend more money on your lathe. There's a few companies that have good lathe. I think this one's pretty nice. Some of the central machine stuff's not that good. Like their bandsaw that I have, I think it's just a big pile of junk. The blades that Harbor Freight sell, they're piles of junk. And the problem with, let me show you this one. This is my bandsaw. You do need a saw when you're doing lathe work, just to cut small pieces of wood and stuff like that. It comes with what I believe is a, let me see, 62-inch blade. And there's only one place that sells those. That's Harbor Freight, and it's not a very good blade. So these blades wear out quite fast, and they're not that cheap. So what I recommend is maybe getting one down at Lowe's. It'll probably cost you a little more, but in blades, you can probably get a better blade for it and a more generalized blade, so one that's used a lot more often. Back to the lathe. What this comes with, you need a bench. I'm using an old sewing machine desk. I converted it. Took out the machine. Didn't have a machine when I got it, so I got the desk really cheap. It's all solid wood. I put this in here, and everything goes right into my trash can below. Have a nice trash can. Comes with 3 drawers. You can put whatever you want in it. I have this mini chuck I use sometimes. A lot of my bits. Comes with this face plate. So you can mount some chucks with this. Not too many. So here's what it comes with. Comes with a tailstock, free spinning tailstock, which I like. This is an 8 TPI. TPI means threads per inch. You need to know that when you're ordering stuff. Let's see if this one came with it. No. Sure didn't. Well, where'd you get that one, Bob? I don't know. I might have sent this one to my father, and he just may have made that for me. That's exactly what I did. This one came with it. So, you'll save yourself some money if you order it to fit yours. This is an 8 TPI. You could do it that way, or you could have it so it goes in like this. So in other words, your chuck would mount on to one of these rods. But you don't want that, because what happens is it'll come loose and wobbling when you're doing free stuff without the tailstock. But there's what your lathe comes with. Now, central machine. It is a cheaper product, so what I had to do with mine, show you something. You see that? Those meet exactly. When I bought this, it did not. So I had to remove this, and I filed down because it was actually up at an angle, and when you put your drills in, they would be going upward, so stuff wasn't coming out correctly. So I had to do a little bit of fine-tuning with this. After that was done, it's a great product. Okay, I don't want to make this video too long. Show you guys some other stuff I have. That's how you get the tailstock out. You just crank it backwards. This is a great tool. My father sent this to me. It's a I'm going brain dead here. It's a chuck, but it's keyless. I love the keyless. Put it in. I was using this for my handles I'm making for some tools. There you go, you're set. And you want to make sure that this is centered with your headstock so that when you drill in, everything is perfect. And see, right now it's loose. So you want to make sure it's centered. Tighten it down, and then you can go in and out. So, I have this one. I bought this one. I bought a set of these. I can't remember what they're called right off the bat, but they just slip in here. I have probably 10 of these laying around. eBay again. For drilling holes and stuff, for pipes, I use the router bits, and they work excellent. All of these fit in. They lock in. Done. Lock it down. It's not going anywhere. Here's a big boy right here. My father sent this one to me, and it's a monster. If I had to, I could use this in that end, and I could mount real small stuff in here and mill that stuff down or lathe it down. Now, you're going to need a grinder, but I want to show you guys something. When you get stuff like this, guess what I have? I just made myself a grinder. I got myself a nice grinder, and here's what I'm talking about though. That will happen with your lathe chuck. It will come out. So you got to make sure these are in here really tight. But if you wanted to, you know, that works great. That's a way to save some money. I use stuff like these barrel sanders. I mount those in there, and I'll do some sanding. you can mount your wire wheels onto these. So you just turned this into quite a machine. It can become a buffer. Okay? Get different sized buffing pads. You can mount a buffing pad to this. There's all kinds of stuff you can do with it. Get a set of these if you're going to be doing some holes. That way, if you're going far distance, you don't have to try and lathe it. You can use stuff like this. It comes with no tools, so this is a set I got. I got a great deal on these. These are all Craftsman. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I thought there was another one laying around here. So I got 5 or 6 of these. I only paid around $10 for these. So I scored on these. And the shipping was really reasonable. This was a really honest seller on eBay, so I got a great deal. Sometimes they don't know the values. Sometimes they'll list them incorrectly, and you can get a better deal that way. Here's a set I bought from Harbor Freight. And take your time when you're learning how to use these tools. Be very safe with them. First thing I bought was a full face mask. You don't want no goggles. Goggles are not going to protect your face when a chunk of wood goes flying off and tears away your flesh. Okay, what I've done here is I've made myself a nice workbench area on the top, and I have all my sandpapers, because when your wood's in there, you want to leave it in there, and go ahead and sand it at that time. Don't take it out, then try and sand it. It takes forever. So all my sanding stuff's in here, sandpaper, different sizes, stuff I reuse. I love these sponges that are sandpapered. I have different textures of these. Regular. This stuff's incredible. It comes in strips, and it's the cloth on the back. Get that at Harbor Freight. Different textures. Here I have all my gauges, my compasses, different stuff, some tools that I'll need. Believe it or not, on some stuff you can use marking pins on the wood to color it. Permanent marker, then put stuff on there. I have some stain, different stains, like for tobacco pipe, because they use a leather stain on some of them. So I have some pre-mixed there. I didn't want to throw it away, and I just store it in a nice water bottle. So I have a lighted area. I put a nice fluorescent light up in here. And the backboard is permanent. It's an old, what year is this? This is probably from 1923. So this is almost antique, but I wasn't getting any use out of it, and it makes a great backboard. So, that being said, you need a nice bench to work on. You can use an old office desk if you want. Make sure it's really sturdy though. You want something really sturdy. This, I'm actually going to be using this wood because I realized it was all oak. But I blocked in an area all around my lathe. You don't have to do this, but see all the sawdust? That would be all on my floor. I still get some. And I keep my shop vac right here, and I am constantly vacuuming up the areas. Some of them get the big fancy vacuum systems. I didn't have the $500 it took. I think it's $360 plus another kit, so you're looking at over $500. I do all my staining and painting right here on my lathe. I don't even take the piece out. Look, my daughter did some art. Really nice. So I'll put a piece of cardboard down so it'll drip on here, so you don't get stain and stuff on your lathe. So keep a spare piece of that around. So I like the self-centering chucks. Go ahead and get one of the ones from Harbor Freight, the cheaper one. You'll use it for bigger stuff. self-centering. Like I said, this one does bowls, but I've used it for a lot more than that because the teeth are so nice on it. And that's about it, guys. I'm always adding to my collection of tools. Let me show you what I just made. This is something I just made with my lathe. I made some nice file handles, and I think some of the glue is still drying. But I love these, and I'll have those forever. I repurpose stuff. Oh, here's another lathe. This is an old Dunlap, and this one works off of, you can use an old Craftsman motor. I like the old Craftsman motors the best. This was a rust bucket when I got it, and I completely sandblasted the entire lathe. And I made this for my son. He has a pool table, so I made him a little pool stick holder. And some of these were colored with marking pens on the lathe. Then I shoot them with a clear coat. Did a lot of painting on them. Made a center pool stick that holds it. But that's little stuff you can do with your lathe. But I haven't got to use this one yet. But this one, gosh, it looks like it's 36 inches at least. And I could add tracks to it to go longer, but I'm never going to go longer than that. But I'll hook this up one time to this old motor we got. This is another project I'm working on. I finished my table saw, this old Craftsman table saw, but now I'm working on this electric wood planer. But I got this on eBay and it came broken, so I'm trying to fix the parts to go in it, and it's more of a challenge than it's maybe worth. Anyway, if you have any questions on getting started, feel free to ask. Real quick here, I made this board here, put it across, and it's been a lifesaver. I use this for my handles for my chuck, for my drill bits, my tailstock, my headstock, keys, drill bits, and they're right here. They don't fall out. And the only thing I haven't made is a place to store all these. I've made a few different attempts. Here's one that'll hold 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's okay. But I'm going to go ahead and get the PVC pipe like I've seen online other guys have. Well, I hope this helps somebody out there get started in lathing. And take full advantage of what your lathe can do. It can do a lot more than just turn wood. You can use it as a grinder. You can use it as a buffer, as a wire wheel. You can use it as a sander. There's so much you can do with a lathe. But go down Harbor Freight. That may be your best start to get started cheap. But go ahead and pick up a quality lathe. There's quite a few different models out there. Different companies have them. This one was, I don't know if it was under 200 or not, but it was close to that. And I'll probably have this one forever. Thanks for watching.